Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to teach you how to create applications that take advantage of command line arguments in Deno and how these arguments are parsed and processed. For example, when you write Deno run something like main ts and you write again some parameters of the form, file, etc. These are the command line arguments that are passed into the runtime of Deno. And I'm going to show you how to use your own command line arguments to create interesting applications. So let's get started. I'm going to use the information that is in the, if you go to the Deno land webpage and you go to the standard library, then there is the flags module. The flags module is the one that is responsible for parsing the arguments of the command line. So I'm going to show you how to use that, and we are going to create an application that will solve the quadratic formula from the command line. So I thought we'd make something useful, even if it is so, probably useless for lots of you, but it could have some use for some other people, for students, for example. So let's get going. So I have created a directory called Deno args, and I have created a subfolder in that called .vs code, where we are going to store the settings for our project. And those settings require that you install the Deno official plugin, which you can get from the Deno extensions market. This is the one that is signed by Deno land. So if you have that, then you need to enable Deno. You need to use the unstable operator or property in case you want to use the linting functionality, and you want to tell the IntelliSense for Deno to use the one from Deno land. And also you need to provide the TypeScript property to use the Deno TypeScript capabilities. Okay, other than that, there is nothing else to prepare. We can start writing the code directly. So I'm going to create a file called main ts, and in that file what we need to do is to import the parse function from the module, from the flags module. So https, it goes to deno.land/flag cd, of course standard library, then flags module, then mod ts. Okay, so let's test that. So const arguments equals parse, and let's check if the arguments property for Deno is there. So let's open a terminal, and in that terminal let's say Deno run main ts, and let's check. Okay, there is nothing. So let's provide something. Let's say f s quack. Oops. Oh yeah, sure, of course. Console log args. So let's see. Yep. So here you can see that we have received some command line arguments. Here is the thing. If you write if you enter command line arguments without any hyphens, without any double hyphens, like we did this way, then these command line arguments will be stored in a underscore property, array property of the object of command line arguments. So this thing here is a object, and that object has the form of underscore, which is an array, and properties, prop1 value, prop2 value, etc. Okay, so if you do something like that, x1 for example, then that will be stored here as x colon 1. Okay, it will be a property. If you don't do that, if you do this, if you write only x without anything, then that will go here. It will be stored here. Okay, you can also create double hyphened properties. Let's say file name. Okay, and you need to assign it a value. Let's say name of something. This is a string. This will be stored here as file name and colon the f name. That's the value. Okay, so having said that, we can now start programming the small application that we have in mind. So we see that this works, and let's go with declaring our variables. So I'm going to pass, as you know, if you take a look at the quadratic formula, the quadratic formula has the form of, oops, let me check. Okay, I'm not sure if it is possible to see. Okay, so here you have the quadratic formula has the form of a multiplied by x squared plus b multiplied by x plus c equals 0. And we know that this in the set of real numbers, this has either one solution, no solutions, or two solutions. So we want to enter the parameters a, b, and c to the program, and from that we will try to figure out whether there is an x that is fulfilling this equation or not. So for that, I'm going to declare the parameter a, and I'm expecting, if you remember, we defined args to be the parsed property, the parsed result of Deno args. So we are expecting that a will be a property of args. So it will be a, because a will be written as a dash a and some number, for example 4. Okay, so again, const b equals args b, const c equals args c, and let's check whether we have received those properly. So I'm going to check whether we have that value or not. So b is b, and c is c. Okay, so let's try this. I'm going to say a equals 1, b equals 2, and c equals 3. And as you see, we have received those as properties to the args object, and we are displaying them after that. So this works. So now we need to define our, I don't know, solutions if you want. So x, x1, x2, and these are numbers. Okay, So we need to declare the discriminator. So discriminator that equals to b squared minus 4 multiplied by a multiplied by c. Okay. So we also want to do something like this. So in case you want to store the results of your application in a file, we're going to declare whether to use a file, and that should receive something either true or false. Okay. And in case you want that, then we are going to declare another parameter called file name, and that should be receiving the name of the file you want to store the results to. So something like that. So in that case, we are going to assume if the file, there is a property called file, and we should check if it is defined or not. If it is undefined, then we don't want to store the values inside a file. If it is defined, then we are going to grab the file name for that, and we will going to open a file, create a file, and store the results there. So for that purpose, we are going to declare a text encoder. And if you've watched my previous tutorial on file handling, this encoder will be encoding text or anything else, any other type of data, so it can be stored into a file. But for our purposes, it will be encoding text data. And also we are going to declare a file handler. This will be used in a bit. So we are going to check if the args file is there. If it is there, then encoder is equal to new text encoder. So it will be a new instance. And in that case, the file handler will be await Deno open the args of the fname property of the args, and I'm going to assume that it is there. I'm not going to handle every single error here, so I'm going to assume that it is there if file is there. So, and we are going to pass some options. One of the options is write is true, so we are going to write into that file, and we are going to create that file if it is not created already. So other than that, we are going to continue. Now if not a, which means the parameter a is not defined. If it is defined, and if the value isn't, if the value is actually 0, so you see we will have 0x squared plus bx, okay, plus c equals 0, and in that case that will mean that x, there is only one solution, which is x, and that is minus c divided by b. Okay, so but also we need to check whether b itself is there or not. So if b is not present, or b equals to 0, okay, then that means there is no solution for that equation. So console log, yeah, because if b is 0, okay, b equals 0, then we will get the equation, this equation, c equals 0, and that is true only if c itself is 0. Okay, so if you for example, if you enter something else, then this equation is invalid. Okay, so if b equals and c c is not equals 0, console log invalid equation. Okay, so let's check. So other than that, what else we have? In that case, in that case, x is equal, as we said, to minus c on b. Okay. So okay. Yeah, we need to output that. So console log one real solution found, x equals x. Okay, and yeah, in that case, we are going to check if the file handler is activated and if the encoder is also activated. Then we need to store the information inside the file. So const data, I'm going to say what? Encoder encode, and now I'm going to put this information inside the file. Okay, so that will be Deno write all. You need to pass the file handler where you want to store your data and the data itself. Okay. Other than that, okay, in case A is not invalid or A is not 0, then we will have to solve the general case. And this one is the one that will check for the discriminator if it is greater or not than the 0. So if it is equals to 0, then we have also one solution, and that one solution is minus b divided by 2a. Okay, provided of course a isn't a isn't 0, which is true in our case. So again, this also means that we need to input output the finding. So one real solution found, which is this. Okay, and the same from above. I will copy this, paste it here. So if we have the file handler activated and the encoder, then yeah, that's it. So we will pass that data to the file and we will write it down there. Other than that, we will check else if the discriminator is less than 0, then I'm just going to say console log no real solutions are found. Okay, and I think So else, this is the case where the discriminator is greater than 0, and in that case we will be having two real solutions. So I'm going to say x1 equals to minus b minus math. Well, we need to use the square root tool from the math library. So sqrt, and of course you remember that the solutions are defined this way. It's minus b plus minus the square root of the discriminator divided by 2a. So it's minus b, and in this case square root of b multiplied by b minus 4 multiplied by a multiplied by c, and all that is divided by 2a. Okay, and the other one is similar except for the plus sign here. Okay, and we can say console log two real solutions found. X1 equals x1 and x2 equals to x2. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so x1 x2, we have that. And of course, if we have the encoder and the file handlers enabled, then we can save the information inside the file. So const data equals encoder encode, and we are going to put that info there. Okay, so Deno write all, and we are going to say write all to f and with the data. So I think that's it. So we can try that now and see what's going to happen. So let's say I don't know, let's make 5, and the file is true and the name is output text. Okay, let's see what will happen. Oh, and of course, because yeah, we are going to write, then I'm going to allow write into file, because otherwise that won't run. So okay, so you see we have two real solutions here, and we have the output file, and that output file has the answers. Of course, you can if you watched my CSV tutorial, you can input that information into CSV with without any useless text data, but that's how you can open text files. And let's try it again. So this time I'm not going to use any files. I'm going to say 1, I'm going to say 0 here. So we have one solution here, and x is 1 on 5, which is 20%, minus 20%. Yeah, let's try something else. Let's say 1, and let's give this 5. No real solutions found, because the discriminator would be less than 0. And let's try something else. Let's say I don't know, let's say this is 0 and this is 1. No real solutions found. Yeah, that's true, because we will be having -4 by 5, which is 20, by 1, which is -20. So yeah, so let's try it again. Let's say 4, let's give this 1, and let's say file equals true, and name equals something text. Okay, right, so we have two solutions here again, and we have another file called something text, and it has this value. Okay, so as you can see, this is very easy to implement. It's very versatile. You can write robust command line applications using this, and you can probably create some shell script procedures using this very easily. And that concludes this tutorial. Please share, like, and subscribe, and leave any comment if you have any questions. See you the next time.